But women aren't in the 16, 17, almost even 1800s.
Well, we're talking about
Women who
hundreds
had
of years
power,
of time.
exactly, you are too. Women who had power were raised and taught by only men, and a lot of their decisions were made by men.
What do you mean their decisions were made by men?
They were told what to do. They were told what is right. They were taught what is right by not women, not like open. You know how like in today's world, schools aren't fully allowed to teach religion if they're a public school and not like a Catholic school? Women who were born into royalty and who they knew they were going to have to be royalty for the rest of their lives were not taught by parties who were like, you know, they were taught by parties who were very much for one thing.
Do you think you could maybe give an example? I'm sorry. Do you think you can give an example maybe?
Marie Antoinette. She's one of my favorite examples. Marie Antoinette was beheaded because she said, quote unquote, let them eat cake, even though she never said that. She was taken from Austria when she was very young and moved to France. She barely even spoke the language. She was married to one of the kings. And then when the king went under, everyone blamed her for being a bad person and for not caring about the poor when she genuinely had no real clue what was going on. She was just kept to be married to the king, and then she was beheaded because she was an evil person. However, she genuinely had no clue what was happening.
Do you have another example?
I'm not completely caught up on English kings and queens, but I've
The reason
been
why
to Europe and I've heard lots of stories of different queens that have just, even if they had their own mind and even if it's documented that they had their own ideas, you have to understand that at that time, every woman's life was controlled by men. Their father's word was the word of God. They had no clue what was wrong and what was right. And so them believing that whatever a man said, like, let's do war, let's do this, let's whatever, they thought it was correct because that was the only thing they were being told. It's very sad, and a lot of women had their own ability to.
Do you want to push back?
Things,
you seem like you want to push back. I got to get up. Go ahead.
I'm not sure entirely about this, but I'm pretty sure in the 1900s, maybe 1800s, in England I think it was for the right to vote, they burned a lot of factories down. Do you think they were led by men to do that?
No, I think they were fighting for their rights.
By burning down factories?
The factories they were forced to work in for no money? Yeah.
You gotta rage when you're like trying to protest and stuff like that. You can't be nice. Well,
earlier you said that women in leadership roles don't commit violence.
I didn't say that.
I
said they're less likely
in a misogynistic world where everyone is violent, women are going to be violent inherently. They're going to become violent because of the societal, projection of everyone else.
What's your question? Just do you think women?
Well, earlier you said that women in leadership roles commit violence or don't commit violence. And I was just giving you an example of them committing violence.
I don't consider that as big of a violent act as what men in government have created. It's not a genocide. It's not some sort of giant war.